Welcome to your practice. We're going to do an unraveling, unwinding from the day. This is the perfect sequence to do before you get in bed. We're just going to hit some of those common areas that maybe get tense throughout the day. So shoulders, do a little chest opening, and then lots of hips and lower legs. We're going to start standing in a standing forward fold. So you can decide how wide you want to go with the legs. You could turn and face the long edge of your mat and take that really big, broad stance. Or if you want to take the shorter stride, you decide. But standing forward fold. Any movement you want to take. And really feel that brain start to get heavy. That head drops, the jaw softens. Kind of imagine the tension of the day just pouring out and down, rolling off your back, releasing that weight, any pressure, any expectations, or anything that might be waiting for you. Just really setting that aside. Okay, if you're moving, maybe consider for the last minute just pausing in stillness. So forward bends on their own tend to be rather quieting. So we're turning inwards. The head is below the heart, so it's a passive inversion. So noticing if there is a little bit more of that ease. And if not, that's okay. Not expecting yourself just to relax straight away, but cultivating a little bit of that spaciousness with your breath. Be as generous with the exhale as you want. With the last few breaths, if there's any gripping or holding, see if you can surrender to the shape. All right, then we're going to meet in a brief down dog. So we're using kind of this upward energy of the day and gradually moving our way down. So we don't normally do a lot of yin poses on our feet, but starting where we are, starting with that upward energy of the day and moving down. And in your dog pose, taking a few moments if you want to pedal stretch, get into the calves or sway those hips. Give the head a good shake. Another moment to drop the brain, another inversion here, not quite so passive. There's a lot happening in down dog. And child's pose. And we're going to hold this shape for a few minutes. So if you want to grab a bolster, blanket, or anything to put underneath the chest, underneath the forehead, I'm going to set my timer here just to keep myself honest. So we're going to take 4 minutes here, making sure you feel comfortable. The head is supported. And another posture of drawing inward. Letting things get soft. Being gracious with yourself, releasing any pressure
judgment you've put on yourself throughout the day, any expectations maybe to get more done than you've accomplished. Just honoring yourself in all that you do, including making the time to be here. Okay, taking the last minute to tune into your own unique needs. And that might mean you stay exactly as you are, enveloped in more of a still, quiet place. Or if the body is itchy and needs to move, you might come to hands and knees, explore some cat-cow, or even return to that down dog. So meeting yourself where you are and then gradually shifting towards that state that you want to be in. But never forcing anything on the body. Yoga is all about listening, responding, listening, responding. Responding from that wise, skillful attitude. Not from a place of lack. Not from a place of should. But what you truly need. Untethering yourself from any burdens you've placed upon yourself today. Moving on, when you're ready, we'll meet on hands and knees. We're going to do a few brief
poses to open the shoulders and the chest. We're going to start with puppy pose. So you're going to walk the hands forward, lower the chest towards the floor. The forehead might come back to the ground. And then I'm going to suggest a version with the tricep stretch to stretch the back of the arms. So you'll walk the palms together. Arms will come in close to the side of the head, and then you'll bend the elbows. Bring those prayer hands towards the nape of the neck. And then once you bend the elbows, at least I find personally, I can kind of sneak them forward a little bit more. And then almost like the elbows are glued in place, and then I want to drag my hips back, my thighs back against that anchor point. And then take a few moments, few breaths wide around the back of the ribs, the back of the lungs. Sometimes this is called heart melting pose, so feeling the heart melt towards the earth. And release the arms. Find your tabletop position. Pausing in a still place or little soft movement, the spine, the hips, the neck. And then one more brief shoulder chest opener. We're going to do thread the needle. So you're going to reach your right arm under the left, come down onto that shoulder. And then make your choice with that left hand, left arm. Palm on the ground, stretch the arm forward, interlace the fingers together. Good. Undo it. Switch sides.
Releasing the shape. Take your transition, whatever you need, onto your back. Have a strap close by. And then anything you want for Shavasana, we're going to end in a shape where you might want some blankets or blocks, pillow for your head. We're going to work our way around the hip joint to close using the strap. You can also grab a scarf or a belt if you don't have a yoga strap. And then looping it around the bottom of the right foot, right leg up towards the ceiling. We'll start with that hamstring and calf. And personal choice if the left knee is bent, left leg is straight. Find a way to hold on the strap that doesn't take away from the work you've just done in the shoulders and the neck. And take a welcomed sigh of relief to now be in the arms of gravity. Releasing the weight of your head, your shoulders, spine, and pelvis. Then take that leg just a little bit across the body. Primarily stays in the hamstring for me, but also incorporates that outer hip, kind of IT band, outer thigh. So this yin practice, we are taking the holds a little shorter than we might typically in a longer class. You're always welcome to extend the shapes. Spend more luxurious time in any pose that's inviting to you. You bring that leg back to center, turn the leg out and come into a half happy baby. And you can use the strap or you can walk the hand up, grab onto the leg instead or the foot. I like to use the strap in this shape when I have it. A few breaths deep into that inner thigh, groin. Then into a figure 4 stretch on the right side. So last thing before we repeat the whole sequence on the left. Ooh, you might shift your hips a little bit to the left. I just did that before I made the sound. So for me, shifting the hips a little to the left goes deeper into that right hip in a good way. Okay, let it go. Find a place and a little space to pause, stillness or movement. And then we'll do that whole set of stretches on the left side. So grabbing your strap, looping it around the bottom of the left foot, extending that leg towards the ceiling. Spending several breaths in this opening shape, deciding what you want to do with that right leg. And if effort crept back into the pose or into your face, soften what you can. Sink down into the earth.
Taking the leg a little bit across the body. Back to center, turn the leg out, half happy baby. And figure 4. And this side, maybe drawing those hips slightly rightward. And let it all go. Feel the residue of all the shapes. And then we'll close together with 2 minutes in a supported bound angle or butterfly. So this is where maybe you want pillows, blankets, blocks, bolster. So you could slide a pillow under your head, or if you have 2 blankets or 2 pillows, you might use them to support the legs. Really going to suggest using something to support the outer thighs, because otherwise it can pull on those ligaments, the back of the pelvis. Even if you have the flexibility, it can just be too much for the ligaments. And if you want something to cover you, or you know you want to stay here beyond the duration of class, then setting a timer. Or if you just want to slide right into bed, taking the shape until you drift off to sleep. Releasing all the burdens and worries of the day. Nothing that needs to be done. At least for the next 2 minutes, no one that you need to care for. Staying within this container of spaciousness that you've created. This container of care. this is where I leave you. Taking that transition into bed, into the rest of your evening. You're lingering in the shape. And thank you for caring for yourself. Thank you for choosing to practice. Thank you, thank you, thank you.